Well, we're gonna have to face them again now. The fort has served our purposes for some time and has prevented enemy supply ships from passing this section of the river, but now the Union is on the offensive. Ironclads approach to bombard us. Alrighty. Federal infantry has disembarked west of the fort and is moving to attack. Okay. You've called for help, and more troops will arrive shortly to support the defense. It is advised to deploy some skirmishers along the ridge west of the fort to delay the Yankee advance. That's a good idea. We need to buy time for our fort's batteries to counter fire and disable the ironclads. General, hold your ground at all costs. We must prove today that the rebellion has a strong foundation that will fight for every inch of southern soil. Alright, cool. Slavery, yeah. Alright, that's what we want to do. We will focus down the ironclads. That's some wacky looking ironclads, aren't they? Probably better to call them iron-plated steamers, I would say. Converted steamships. More than ironclads, it will. Technicalities. Siegfried, you're dead. Right. So Siegfried, you'll go up there, and we'll have like a forward. We'll have a way forward defense, a forward defense, and then the actual defense. And hopefully that gives us enough time to kill a USS. What is this? Anacostia and Thomas Freeborn before we actually have to fight at the fort, so we can actually use the 6-pounders to. So we can use the 6-pounders to actually defend against them rather than focus down the ironclads. Because the ironclads are shooting at us, and we don't want them to shoot into our back. As we're in a close combat fight with Union infantry. Oh shoot. There they are. Let's get up to this creek. Come on. Oh gosh. Look at their condition. It's so bad. Oh, battle. High battle. How dare you have your own skirmishers? Can you actually fire? Stand there and fire, Kemper. This is a terrible engagement. We're fighting into the trees. I was hoping we could get up there before they had a chance to get up to this river line. Oh look, Crocker, how useful. Actually, we might be able to hit this artillery if we fall back a little further. If we get in this house, that'll be great. Oh, is this even house cover? Oh, it is. Actually, your condition is so terrible. Goodness. Maybe I should have just left these guys back there. Well, we stay in the house, draw their fire for a bit at least. And hopefully bait the infantry forward where we smash their guns. And hopefully take their supplies right now. Lauman and Haskell. And we'll probably hit Nicholas, hopefully, if we can get them into melee before they shoot us. That would be great. If we could get them into melee before they shoot us, that would be great. Okay, these guys are probably going to die. If we could get them into melee before they shoot us, that would be great. If we could get them to melee before we're shot in the side by canister shot, that would be awesome. Let's bait these guys away. You can fall back into there. I need to get out of there before I'm shot. Perfect. Okay, we destroyed one set of cannons. We're now destroying another. Hopefully, well, the supplies are going to get captured by Nicholas here. but we're at the same time we're baiting battle over here out of here. That's good. Siegfried is hopefully going to delay these guys a little bit. And Kemper can get folded. The cannons are dying, which is good. No, battle, come and get the cavalry, or the supplies. You fool! How dare you grow a brain? Ah, this Crocker might be dead here. Yeah, Nicholas won't come back, and he won't go after the supplies until Crocker's dead. If I can get Crocker out of there, that would be great. Because he's going to lose that engagement. Okay, now Siegfried's being flanked. This is bad. So we'll get Siegfried up and around. If I could get Crocker out of there, that'd be awesome. If we can get across the river before we're shot by battle again. Nice. Oh no, but he's broken, or he's routing now. Fortunately, cavalry isn't that stupid and actually runs away. There we go. Oh, and there we go, they're gone. Well, they did good while they lasted. That's ideally why you have full regiments of cavalry starting battles. Doesn't matter the equipment, especially melee cavalry. If you're only gonna have like one melee cavalry, and it only does basically what I just did, and hopefully more successfully. But that was good. They did great. They killed a battery of artillery and almost killed the second battery. And distracted the skirmishers from getting around behind us. Now we have 2 regiments of infantry that can come in and sandwich these guys. While we have stolen their supplies. Oh shoot. We've killed one ironclad and now the cannons have decided to turn around. We need to kill the other ironclad. My one concern here is the second battle coming up and flanking us. We'll see if we can stop that. Oh no, battle's over there. Cool. Well, hopefully we can kill Nicholas here. Fold Allen's skirmishers back into him, and that'll give him some more firepower when delivering this volley. Come on, get him. Almost. Eventually we'll have enough men and enough good guns in a regiment to actually kill a commander when he walks out in front. How dare you try and protect your men by giving them morale? Nope, no dice. One supplies, here's the other supplies. There we go. There's significant bonuses to destroying the enemy's morale when you get flanks, as you saw with Siegfried in the last part of the battle. And ideally, we'll be able to shoot Nicholas here when our regiment is reloaded. Tell them to hold fire, and hopefully we can rapid fire to Nicholas when we have the opportunity. Get him! Get him! Fire! Not quite. Damn. I think there's 50. It doesn't show you obviously, but yeah, there's There's 50 men in the command regiment, I believe. So once we get the rifles and skill to kill 50 men in a single volley, like we've finally done, then commanders will be very much threatened by doing that, being out in the open. Alright, and now let's fall back. That worked so well originally. It would be swell if they walked up and got flanked again. So, let's walk back and let them walk into the fort, shall we? Yeah, this is taking a while. And what I'll probably do for these is I'll probably record them all in one go and then divide them and render them and then post them at the same time, and then leave one hidden, and they'll all come out at the exact same time, so you won't have to wait for any cliffhangers and single battles. Almost done with this ironclad. Oh, did you really stop shooting the ironclad? Gosh. Oh my god. It's almost dead. We've lost 30 guys to the ironclad already. Can you just keep shooting it? No, Brooke has decided to come up and fight our 2 lines with his 1. Works for me. This is working very well. I wonder where the Union artillery is. It's probably still way back here. If possible, I'd certainly like to kill them all before the battle ends, and then we can capture their equipment, or have a chance to capture their equipment anyway. You'll see as the campaign progresses, and certainly if you've ever seen this game played with the Union before, that we're going to have a lackluster time trying to source artillery. It'll be difficult. So we're gonna have to scrounge stuff up from the battlefield. At least any of the good guns anyway. 10-pounder ordnance, 20-pounder parrots, stuff like that. We can usually get our hands on the mediocre stuff, like Napoleon guns. Napoleon guns will probably be the backbone of our artillery early game. At least until we can capture or buy enough ordnance guns. If we're lucky, we might have probably 3 regiments of 20-pounder parrots by the end of the game. Right, I'm being foolish here. Just watching the battle go on. I need to, because I have the superiority in regiments here, I'll have to tell them to hold fire and run. If I can get around Brooke here, I can limit our casualties. There we go. There we go. It's my bad, bit of a brain fart there. This is why we're playing on normal difficulty. Don't charge, you're gonna kill all your stamina. What an ineffective shot, my goodness. So, as you can see, running can be very effective, but it does drain your condition a lot. So, and stamina is extremely important. If you have a regiment with low stamina, you need a lot of expensive equipment to make it perform as a full regiment. Even now with these garbage rifles, could probably be a considerable threat to a low stamina regiment with good rifles. Okay, now we're at 30% stamina. Let's get Siegfried out here. Ah, perfect. Guns are good. We can have them stop doing that. And actually get a little closer, maybe become slightly more effective. 6-pounder field guns are the worst gun in the game. You're essentially better with any other weapon. Having some cannons is better than no cannons, but in this game where you can have either an infantry regiment or a piece of cannon, or what am I trying to say? A piece of artillery. It's better to just go with the infantry than having to deal with 6-pounders, honestly. I mean, obviously there are certain situations where 6-pounders are good. Specifically if you can't get infantry into certain places. A little damage is better than no damage. And certainly over the course of a long battle like this, when the enemy's in the open, they will do some work. Who's got good stamina and troops? You don't, but it's pretty okay. Let's break off Siegfried's skirmishers. Now both of you come right down the middle here. There we go. Just gonna try and get up and over here. Oh, you're gonna charge us, are you? That's a good idea. Now that's what I thought. Yeah, the worst situation is having troops in low morale and low condition, because they're shattering and running away, but they're so tired that they can't run away, so they just die. Let's bring the artillery up with us. You got to be careful when dealing with artillery of this era. Even 6-pounder field guns. Because once you get close enough, they can load the canister shot, and your infantry gets turned into paste rather quickly. Doesn't matter that it's coming out of a 6-pounder gun when there's 1,000 cannon, little tiny musket balls coming at you. Oh, look at that. We even get to finish them off. Alright, so we'll kill all these guys. And there is a purpose to it. We're not just trying to get up our kill-death ratio here. There is a purpose to destroying all of the infantry that you can. Because as I mentioned before, you do scavenge supplies from the battlefield, so as long as you're not taking dramatic losses and you're actually pushing the enemy back like this, it is way better to pursue and destroy them if you have the opportunity like we do here. Because then we get all of their rifles that their dead friends may drop. And that's good for our economic and warfighting efforts. Because you are fighting and leading the army, but you're also managing the army. And battle was destroyed, I think, so we don't have to worry about him sneaking up here, but just in case, I'll get Canfield back there. Because now that the timer's up, now they can fulfill their victory objectives, which is like capture the fort or whatever. So if we lose the fort for any amount of, or for the time it takes them to capture the fort, which it'll have like a timer for how long it'll take them to capture the fort, then we lose the mission, despite the battle timer being over, and we can finish, but we're not going to. So there is risk to this, but is there really? Let's get into the forest. A thing to mention about this mission is that some of these are not my troops, so to speak. Some of these are from another army, so their casualties won't matter to me. Unfortunately, it looks like Siegfried and Kemper are the ones in my army. And I believe the 2nd Division is not mine. You'll see what I mean once we get into the actual battle screen, or the post-battle screen. What do you call it? The army manager, I suppose? It's the other part of the game, where the strategy of the grander strategy comes into play. Just, you know, that was just sad. Salvo of 4 cannons, barely anybody died. You'll see when we get to the later game when a 24-pounder howitzer kills like 150 men in a single volley. Let's speed it up a bit, shall we? Here I am enjoying the sounds of shooting things. Shouldn't be doing that. Gotta be efficient. I only got so much hard drive space. Yeah. Alright, there we go. There we go. And Burnham, you are the final regiment. Yes? Yup. Go, Siegfried, kill. They're in swamp. That's even worse. Well, that's almost as bad as being in a river. What's that? You wanted to be in melee? I don't think so. There we go. Alright. There we go. Potomac Fort. Battle outcome is Maurice Nicholas versus me. Strength 5,600 infantry, 3,266 infantry. We had cavalry. We lost all our cavalry. That's fine. We didn't. They ran away, so they probably. I'm pretty sure they don't come back. We apparently had 3 guns at some point. Or no, we lost 3 guns. Oh no, because they lost guns, we captured it. That makes sense. Yeah, we did almost a 4-to-1 kill to death ratio there. If you want those stats, did our goals, our units. Who did good? Kills. Allen did 800 kills for 116 losses. And much of the infantry has the same story. Good kills to reasonable losses. Hexaner did amazing. 449 to 9. Good skirmishers for you. Cavalry, a little worse for wear, but definitely tactically useful. The artillery coming in at the bottom of the list. Kind of sad, but they were only 6-pounders, so fair enough. And then all of the Union troops, which did the best. Battle did the best. Makes sense. They killed all our cavalry with that infantry charge in the forest there. Officers. Siegfried obviously died, but Bernie here lived. And here's why we were killing all those troops. We managed to capture 927 Springfield model 1842s from the dead enemies on the battlefield, and we managed to recover 435 that we had lost to our own men dying. We also captured 103 Springfields, or captured, yeah, and we recovered 4. We captured 4 6-pounders and rescued 1. We also rescued a couple hundred of our, well, 110 of those cavalry fighting supplies, and we also captured 5,000, well, almost, a little more than 4,000 supplies. So yeah, it was a good battle, all considered. But now, we get to see the other part of the campaign. We won a medal because we successfully did our mission. And this is our reward for fighting that battle. We got a career point, which is like a skill point. And we've got reputation, so that is a different currency other than money and troops, which we also got from this battle, that allows us to spend it on specific items. It's like a political force that you can sway the government with. You're a trusted commander, so you can ask for some things that other people wouldn't have access to otherwise. And also, for our prisoners, we had 220 prisoners, and we exchanged them for 287 additional recruits. I don't know how the math on this works out, but that's how it worked out. So now, this is our army. And as you can see, we have way less troops than we had control of originally, so you understand what I'm talking about. Siegfried is dead.
Yes, sir.
Kemper is alive, so we'll give him back his regiment here. And as you can see, they have the amount of soldiers that they had when we left off, including their detached skirmishers. Additionally, we have the armory. This is what we have over here in our armory. So we have all of the rifles that we recovered and captured, as well as the other rifles that we recovered and captured. And then we have the shop, which these are all the rifles we can buy. There's 1,400 available farmer rifles, 7,000 reboard farmer rifles, a whole bunch of Springfields, Palmettos, Mississippis, MJ&G Type 2s, Lorenz, so on. Lots of weapons, very nice. And they're sorted by how expensive they are, so farmers to the Spencer carbine. And obviously, as you can see, we don't have access to some of the rifles, and we will never have access to some of these rifles, in this shop anyway. And likewise, some of the rifles will only be available to us. So like this CS Richmond will not be available for purchase for the Union, obviously, because it's CS, Confederate States Richmond rifle. We're kind of making it. We're not going to make it for the enemy, quote unquote. And that was the infantry weapons. So this is what you get for your line infantry. And everything from rifles that farmers have to specialty built limited production rifles and repeaters. Next we have, excuse me, the shop for skirmishers. So this is the type of weapon that skirmishers have, or can have. So typically either a long range rifle or a repeating rifle, or rather a carbine, a fast loading rifle, or a repeating rifle. So you have like hunting rifles, large musket for shooting at long range, or sharps rifles, which are like very quick percussion cap loading rifles. You also have revolving rifles. So this Colt 1855 or 44 caliber revolving carbine, 6-shot cylinder. Then you have Whitworth rifles and telescopic Whitworth rifles over here. So you got what would be equivalent to, I suppose, sniper rifles today. It has a telescopic sight on it. It's a very long range, as you can see there. And the stats, when we hover over it: damage 10, effective range 600, fire rate 43, accuracy 90, melee 40. So you can see reload, efficiency, melee, and little bars there. That's efficiency is kind of mixing up the accuracy, the fire rate, and the range, kind of. So you can see the split of abilities, and you can understand why things are more expensive than others. So this hunter rifle is reasonably cheap, but it also reloads very slowly. It's really efficient, and it's very good in melee. But, you know, it's a skirmisher regiment, so you're probably not going to be sending them into melee because there's 300 of them, or 250 of them, versus a regiment of, like, 3,000. So, not ideal. And you can see these are much faster reloading, while also having even better range. So you can understand why it's worth $166 in currency of 1861. Next we have weapons for cavalry, so sawed-off shotguns, Cook and Brother rifles, palmettos, so an infantry kit with a sword and a small pistol carbine. Very nice. So these will obviously be for your melee infantry or melee cavalry. So you can see the ones with swords are typically are for the melee cavalry, and the other ones are for the skirmish cavalry. And then we come to artillery. Now, as the Confederates, we don't have access to very much good artillery. We don't even have 20-pounder Parrots in the shop right now. We do have 24-pounder howitzers, and I'll definitely buy those in a minute. Or at least I'll try to anyway. We have access to several 6-pounder field guns, very not great. 12-pounder howitzers, also not great, but definitely better. As you can see, they reload slower, but their damage is way higher, at the cost of being a reasonably shorter range. Yeah, accuracy is also leaves a lot to be desired. And then you have some Napoleon guns. These are probably gonna be good for us early game. 10-pounder ordnance guns, which are, for the money, probably the best guns you can get, at least for now. Parrot guns are a reasonable replacement, but the 10-pounder ordnance are arguably better for the price. Then you have some specialist guns, so the 10-pounder Tredegear, the 12-pounder Whitworth, and the 14-pounder James, all reasonable guns, if not pretty expensive for what they do. And then you get the very top quality stuff, so the 24-pounder smoothbore howitzer here, very effective gun, and the 20-pounder Parrot, also an extremely effective gun. Also very expensive. So we could buy all those. But we won't quite yet, because we have more to do. So the barracks here. This is the list of all the people that we can purchase to lead our units. So we have captains down here, and it goes all the way down to a brigadier general. Now, the difference in rank is shows how many men they can lead. So you can, in practice, put a major in charge of 400 men, for example, or you can put them in charge of 1,500 men or 3,000 men. It's up to you, but their ability to lead those men depends on their rank. So if you put a major in charge of 3,000 men, he's probably going to have a hard time, and his efficiency is going to suffer because his command is so low. Additionally, the division is the group of soldiers that make up these, and you need good men leading them ideally, and their experience applies to the skill of each regiment, and the regiments have these skills that they can achieve, so their veterancy, and their veterancy gives them different buffs. So I can choose the buff for this artillery regiment here, so I can give them logistics ability, physical training ability, discipline, and then next rank we get tactical training, gunnery training, shooting training, and short range training or long range training. So, and you can see they all have different buffs and different abilities, all very good. Typically I'll go with this one for artillery, so we'll do that one, because this one is specific to artillery, so only artillery can get that specific first skill, as compared to infantry, where they can have the other two. So this one, the endurance course, which means they have, as you can see there, better stamina, efficiency, and speed, and this one, the discipline training, where they have better morale and efficiency. They have stats here. I'll hover over them for a second if you want to pause and read what they are. I know what they are. You can kind of get it from what they say. Melee, how good you fight in melee. Firearms, how good you are with dealing with guns. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then finally, we'll loop back around to the career. So this is my career, as it were, like the character's career. And these are your career points that I talked about earlier, and this is our history of battles, and we can see how well we did in our battle here. We fought with 3,200 infantry against 5,600. We killed a lot more than we lost, blah, 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 blah. Very nice. And over here is our skills, what their level is currently, what we can do with them, and then what they are doing. So, as we can see, politics here is at level 3, and as a result of that, our income is at 7.5% increase, and recruiting is at 7.5% increase. And if we go up 1 in politics, it goes up to 10%. So we get 2.5% every single time, which adds up with the math there. 3 times 2.5, 7.5. There you go. Likewise, with economy, we have a discount of 2.5%. Then that becomes 5%. So that decreases the cost of all the things in the shop, which is good for equipping troops. Medicine is how much of the unit is restored after a battle. So as you can see there, unit restored 0%, 2%, so you can extrapolate that to 20%. And then veteran cost minus 2.5%. We'll show you that in a second. Army organization is a necessary thing, but it's also not everything you want to put your points into right away. So army organization increases your max brigades, so the amount of these things you can have. As you can see, we have 1 locked right now. If we put 1 into army organization, it goes up by 1, so we can have 4 in a brigade, and we can only have so many divisions and only so many brigades in these divisions. So that can help us save money and also bring more troops into the field, so that might be a good idea. Finally, we have logistics. Increases just a general increase of the ammo your troops carry into the battle. It's very useful, if not that critical because of your ability to resupply troops, but it is nice to have. Additionally, there is reconnaissance. So every 2 points, we get a new ability for a reconnaissance. We are almost certainly going to leave reconnaissance as it is right here at 4 until we decide otherwise. It'll probably stay that way the entire campaign. For now, I'm going to put a point into politics, and then I think we'll leave it at that, because we only have the one for now. And yeah, then any battles we complete in the future will have even more income and recruits, and those are our bread and butter: people and money. Now, as you can see here, we have a slider that allows us to increase the amount of men in this regiment. So right now we're at 414 men. We can disband the regiment, but why would we do that? We already have all these veterans in the regiment. So we have the option here of recruiting rookies or veterans. Now, as you can see, this is where that veteran discount comes in, because if I wanted to keep the regiment's experience where it is right now, it would cost me $31,000, which is kind of most of our money, so we probably won't do that. But if we wanted to take the hit to the experience and lose our discipline training, but also while reinforcing the regiment, we can just cost $0 because we don't have to buy muskets because we have some in our armory, so it'll only cost people, and we have people, so that's nice. This is our supply, so that supply thing on the map that you saw me dealing with is its amount of supply is dependent on this. If I wanted to increase the amount of supply, it will cost me 1,000 per, or 1 per dollar, basically. So it increases by 1,000. So we spent $1,000 to increase the supply by 1,000. If I pull this down, we have an intelligence report. Captain, after the Battle of Potomac Fort, I am certain blah 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 blah. Without reinforcements, your military career is at stake. I am depending on you. So, this is a captured message from the enemy, assuming it's troops. We need troops, please. They kicked our ass at the fort. Lincoln is concerned about your lack of aggressiveness in the field. This continued passivity, blah blah blah. You must replace your men. 2,400 fresh recruits. Cool. Alright, so now the enemy army is getting bigger. We can pull up that report anytime we want. So, the enemy's army has increased by 2,400, and this is our intelligence of what the enemy army is able to do. Now, this is affected by just what year it is, and because you're fighting as the Confederates against the Union, this will just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the training will probably get better and better, and the armory will get ridiculously better, so the enemy will get more and more troops. And it is also affected by these battles that happen. So if you kill 10,000 troops in this first Bull Run battle, then the armies go down by 10,000. Also, we have side missions, so you can fight anything on this battle map. These are all of the battles that you can fight, and we have a main battle and we have side battles. So for every main battle you do, this entire map updates and you get a whole new series of new battles. So it's important to do the side battles before you do the main battle. In addition, there are also effects that you get if you do the side battles. So you did not defeat the enemy at the Battle of Newport News. Union reinforcements arrive, so their army is stronger. But if you kill off, or if you win the Battle of Newport News, then the enemy has a debuff in the Grand Battle, or in the Grand Battle First Bull Run. And you can see here we have different points awarded for fighting and winning or drawing or being defeated in these battles. As you can tell, it is better to win than to lose. and we get whatever this is called. What is it called? Reputation for winning and draws, but not for losing. We lose reputation. If your reputation gets too low, you get kicked out of the army. And if your reputation gets low enough, your troops don't like being under your command, and they suffer morale debuffs. So, we can also spend reputation on things. So, If we could spend 4 and get this, what is that, Colonel James Archer, I believe. Brigadier General James Archer there. Or we could spend 4 and get 2,000 1841 Mississippi rifles, or spend 4 to get 2,000 1842 Springfield rifles. So we could do that if we wanted to, but I don't want to do that yet, because I don't think I need rifles yet, because we haven't, well, I don't know if I need rifles, because I haven't equipped any of the troops. So yeah, that was the basic rundown. I can feel my voice starting to give way. I'm sure you have heard it too. So for now, I'm going to call this part, and next part I will have reinforce the army, or I may just show you what I'm doing with the reinforcements probably, and then we will fight the Battle of Newport News and then the first Bull Run. Alright, see ya.